to be here with you and learn from Caitlin, and you'll have time to do any questions you would like to do.
Yeah.
Caitlin, would you like us to start?
Sure, we can jump in. I know we've got 90 minutes and I want to make sure that we have time at the end for questions so I can actually work with you and coach you through wherever you guys are getting stuck.
That would be great. So let me introduce you first formally. So Caitlin Doemner has been called the sales whisperer. She has a background in sales, in philosophy and art, ancient literature from Oxford University. And she has an MBA, a master's degree in business administration. Her company, the Virtual Coaching Sales, has built sales team that have generated tens of millions of dollars. And I will say this again, tens of millions of dollars for industry leaders such as Deepak Chopra, Ali Brown, Mastin Kipp, Fabian Fredrickson, Christine Kane, and more. She's the author of several books of sales and has been invited to speak to entrepreneurs at places like Harvard University and West Point. Today, we're going to discuss the 3 limiting beliefs that keep most coaches from selling their services and building a profitable business around the work they're doing. And I'm so excited to welcome Caitlin. Caitlin, I'm going to share some things that I really love about you. The fact that you have, how many children do you have?
I inherited 1. He's now 20. And we have had 3 more, my husband and I, who are 7, 9, and 11 years old.
So 4 children. This is such a blessing. And I really love your lifestyle. You're traveling all over the globe with your family.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. I've got some photos. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Great. And also you have a very different approach on sales. And this is what I love about you. So we call them selling from the heart. At least this is, what I feel, the outcome of everything that you've been teaching is. So let's shoot it. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And what I love about being with Jill and with her people is that I know that you guys are the people that I am here to serve, which is heart-centered, mission-driven entrepreneurs. I specialize in what I call the woo-woo people. So my coaches, my healers, my light workers, people who transform the world through their services, and they want to have a much bigger impact on the world. So you are in the right place if your goal is to change the world for the better. And you also acknowledge that sales might be holding you back. This ability to sell with confidence, with grace, with ease, and with joy, that's what we want to be able to channel for you guys so that you can do this, make even more income, have an even bigger impact this year. So Jill was very gracious in sharing kind of my history and my background, but it was not always this glorious. So when I started, I began and failed at so many entrepreneurial endeavors. I was trying to sell real estate. We were doing residential care facilities for the elderly. I tried here in the United States, we call them multi-level marketing, where you're trying to just sell $30 bottles of oils or Tupperware or things like that. I taught art classes and spent so much money trying to get those cute little clay figurines that you see off the ground as a business model. And all of this flailing meant that we zeroed out our savings, we maxed out our credit cards, and I was just desperately trying to figure out how to make money, how to contribute to my family, how to do something that really mattered. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where you start with your physical safety and then psychological connection, and then we work our way up towards self-actualization. Well, that's sort of my journey into entrepreneurship. So for me, entrepreneurship started with, I do not want to clean my own house. How much do I have to earn to pay somebody else to clean my home? And so I would earn that much money. And then I need enough money so I can send my kids to private school. And so we would earn a little bit more. And then, well, I really want to bring my husband home from his horrible 70-hour-a-week corporate job in retail. So in 2014, we were able to bring Michael home. Now, it's small enough that we may not need breakout rooms. Jill, if you'd like to do breakout rooms, we can. It's entirely up to you guys, but I would love for you to maybe just drop in the chat. What, if you feel comfortable, what is your current financial goal? If you don't want to share an exact number, that's fine. I really want to know what's behind that. Why is that important for you? So what is the level of growth that you're looking to achieve? Once I can attain this much money, then I can. And it can be really altruistic, like, well, then I can start the charity that I want to support. Or it can be very realistic, like, then I can just pay off my mortgage, right? So I really want to know what is your focus? And we'll say over the next 12 months. Over the next 12 months, this is how much money I would love to bring in, if you feel comfortable sharing an actual number. And why does that matter? And if you're really, really brave, then you guys can unmute yourself and share verbally. And if it's easier, feel free to type it in the chat. I know that I speak fast and in English. If you want to type in Greek, that is totally fine. Jill will translate it for me because I do not speak Greek. But feel free to type and share what you are comfortable with, and then we will translate it. So Jill is very brave. Thank you, Jill. Sharing 13,000 euros in net profits per month. Then I will feel financially secure. Beautiful. I love that. And if you guys haven't really stopped to think about this, probably the easiest way to begin is just thinking through how much money is going out the door every month. How much do I pay for my rent? How much am I paying for groceries? How much am I paying for gasoline? How much am I paying for school? And just kind of mentally do a quick calculation of what would it take for your coaching business to just cover your current lifestyle. So it doesn't matter how big or small the number is. If it's a small number, that's fantastic. It's really easy for us to get you there. If it's a big number, that's fantastic. I really want you guys to dream as big as possible. I love it. Okay, you guys are finally taking me seriously. Yes, we're gonna wait until you have answers. Katarina says, I need 6,000 euros by December to free myself from financial debts. High five, Katarina. I love it. Samsung says, 5,000 per month to improve my family's lifestyle and personal achievement. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. And it can be in euros. It can be in US dollars. I don't care who you're selling to. Whatever your clients are paying you in is perfect. But I love that. Oh, forgive me. I don't know how to pronounce that first name. Once I reach 10,000 a month, I will explore the world and work from everywhere. A woman after my own heart. I love that. Do we have any other people that are willing to share where they're at and what they're thinking, what they're aiming for? No worries that you can't unmute or come off camera. Totally fine. All right. Well, you guys can continue to think through your number, think through your goal. And oh, Iota, hi. Okay. Viana wants 150,000 net profit from her real estate business. 5,000 euros for the next 12 months. Awesome. Thank you, Crystalia. I love it. Keep them coming. So for me, so we did all this. The last one for me was Michael and I were finally working together full time. It was like, okay, well, we've got 3 kids. We want to travel the world. So for us, that's what we did. For about 18 months, we're not done. We're about halfway through. We're kind of taking a break for our family right now, but we got to travel with our 3 kids. We took them to 21 countries in 5 continents, including Antarctica. And then next year, the plan is to hit India, Africa, and Europe. We will be in Greece at some point in the next 12 months. So really looking forward to seeing some of you guys in person. And what I noticed is as we were going on this adventure, right, what I realized is that every time you succeed and you fulfill one of your dreams, there's a new dream that's born, right? So we do this level and then we're like, you know what else is possible? We could do this. And then we do that. Then we're like, well, you know what else is possible? We could do that. And we do that. So for me, while I was traveling, the next dream that I have is ending emotional suffering for 1 billion people. So I realized the fastest way that I can do that as a business coach with a sales background is I can teach 1 million game changers, people like you, how to impact 1,000 people each, right? So how many of you can either raise your hand or put yes in the chat, how many of you would love to change the lives of 1,000 people that you know that you were here and you changed not just their lives, but future generations, their kids' lives, their grandchildren's lives, right? I love it. And for some of you, that number is going to be way too small. You're going to be like 1,000. I'm going to do that. I'm going to blow that out of the water. We are making a much bigger impact on the world. And you guys have hundreds of thousands and millions of people that you want to reach. So the trouble is that very frequently with my heart-centered entrepreneurs, you guys end up getting stuck on the lower levels. I'll say we end up getting stuck on the levels of the pyramid, right? Because until I solved this problem, I was right there with you, right? We end up in this never enough money situation and a feast or famine roller coaster, where usually what happens is we don't have any money. So we go hustle up some cash, we get some clients, and then we have to focus on fulfillment. And then we wait until we're absolutely out of money again. And then we force ourselves to go back out and close some more deals. And so we're doing everything we can to avoid that sales process. We end up not paying ourselves. We usually pay ourselves last, if at all. We're constantly reinvesting everything that we earn because we keep thinking if we can just grow the company a little bit bigger, then it'll be a little bit easier. And very often, those of us who are trying to make this work full time are loved ones who care for us very deeply and who really want the best for us. Just encourage us to, you know what, just go get a real job, right? Or stay in your current job because it's safe, right? And very frequently, when we self-diagnose, we think that the problem is marketing. I just don't have enough leads. No one knows I exist. I keep attracting people who can't afford me, right? Any of you said any of these, like, it's just a visibility problem. If more people knew about me, then everything would be better. So what do? Well, most of the time, we sort of secretly think that maybe we're not good enough. And that's why people aren't paying us money. Like, they should be throwing money at us. Why are they not throwing money at us? So we go back to school, we learn another modality, we get another certification, we build pretty websites, we launch more products, we put out group programs when our individual coaching isn't full. We try to publish books or ebooks. We're getting on social media and trying to do the whole stupid social media publishing thing. We hire copywriters or graphic designers, and we spend a lot of money that we don't need on every possible shiny object, because what we're really doing is avoiding getting on the phone and talking to an actual human. The problem is that if you didn't make at least $100,000 last year, you do not have a marketing problem. You have a sales problem. So why are we afraid of selling, right? Why are we afraid of selling? Well, when we get on a sales conversation, we have to face our worst fears. Our fears that I'm not good as I think I am. I'm a fraud. I'm an imposter. No one actually values what I'm offering. No one's really going to pay for these services in this economy. And ultimately, it's that I'm not going to be able to make money of it, and I'm afraid that I'm going to fail. Okay, we won't do breakout rooms. This one's going to feel a little even scarier, but I would love to hear what comes up as you think about selling, right? If I forced you, like, okay, here's a list of 100 names. Tomorrow, you're just going to pick up the phone and you're going to start selling coaching services, right? So I'd love to hear what comes up as you think about that. What are you personally afraid of when you think about doing sales? I will say the first one that I usually come across is I'm afraid of being salesy, right? So we have this idea that if I'm going to be like, I don't want to push people. I don't want to come across as manipulative. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to alienate a friend. There's a lot of that comes up. So I'm curious, as you sit with it, and we'll just do a couple of deep breaths. I want you to actually visualize the idea. If I'm going to pick up the phone, or I'm going to reach out and start selling myself, selling my services, asking people for money, where do you feel the resistance come up? It might be a physical sensation. It might be an emotion. It might be a thought, like an actual sentence. What comes up as you think about actually going out, selling yourself, and asking for money? Yota, what if they don't get the results that I promised them? I love that. People are going to be put off by me and they won't like me anymore. Absolutely. That one's terrifying. What else comes up for you guys? And I know this is hard. Most of the time, our entire society focuses on pushing these feelings and emotions down and ignoring them. It's really hard. It's like trying to pinpoint the boogeyman, right? Keep slipping out of your peripheral awareness. It's really hard to stop and stare at the shadows. I get it. Sunil, hesitation to sell. As an accomplished professional, I believe that people should come to me. Ooh, that's a good one. I feel embarrassed that I'm trying to sell something at all. I love that. Great one, Katarina. Okay. Keep typing, keep putting stuff in there. We're going to work through it. I'm going to share the 3 big ones that I frequently hear and come up with. But by the end, if we haven't addressed these, this is what we get to do in the Q&A section at the end. Okay. So I do want you to think through this and share historically what has gotten in the way of you going out and doing this, selling your services. Okay. Now, usually when we do breakout rooms, it's interesting. We come back and we share as a group. We'll skip that, but just notice what you notice. Like, notice how difficult it was to just face that and be open about it and notice it. Christella says, sometimes I feel that I'm forcing. Okay, yeah, that idea of pushing and forcing, absolutely. Bayana, not confident that you're better than the others out there. Maybe they don't feel it's worth it, right? And that can be really scary. If somebody says, it's just not worth it. Ouch. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll keep them coming. We'll keep working through them. You guys are doing beautiful. I love it. What I've found is that if we can avoid the sales conversation, we don't try to sell, so we can't actually get rejected, then we can convince ourselves we're still in the entrepreneurship game, right? We're still an entrepreneur because nobody has officially said no yet. So we stay really busy trying to do all of the things, working on PowerPoint presentations, planning out our lessons, building our product, We spend a lot of time on everything except sales, because if we had to acknowledge that we don't actually know how to make money at this, we might be forced to give up on that dream. Do you understand what I'm saying? So as long as we can convince ourselves that we haven't succeeded because we haven't really tried, right? Then we get to hold on to that idea that we can actually build a life of freedom and impact and financial abundance. And we keep ourselves in the little chrysalis because we don't believe that we can survive as butterflies. And I'm here to tell you that that is a lie. You are a fucking butterfly. You are here to change the world, right? And your playing small isn't just killing you. It's killing the people that you came here to save. Now, honestly, this is not your fault. Good news is you're not broken. If it just feels like you're spinning your wheels, because the truth is that nobody's taught you that you are only one skill away from living the life of your dreams. The only thing keeping you from building a life you love, doing work you love with clients you love, is you need to master high impact sales. What is high impact sales? High impact sales is when you change someone's life through the act of selling. Jill mentioned, I believe that sales is an act of love and service. Most of you are probably thinking that when you get somebody closed and they're a client, then the transformational work begins. Then you get to change your life after the sales conversation. And I'm telling you, no. It starts in the sales conversation. That is where they make a decision that changes their destiny, right? And your clients are going to commit to investing in themselves, not you. They're investing in themselves at the highest possible level because they believe they're worth it, because you believe that you are worth it. You're hearing me? Okay. So what high impact selling sounds like? These are actual love notes from my team. Before my strategy session, I was confused about my goals. But now after the conversation, I have the belief that everything can change and I can create what I want. You helped me so much, even in just 30 minutes. You've given me a new point of view for myself and my business. I appreciate your kindness. I love your energy. I now have a clearer vision for my business thanks to the questions you asked, right? These are verbatim notes that are sent to my sales team after they completed their sales call, right? Are you understanding what I'm saying? People are going to thank you for selling them into your program. They are going to love you for standing up for them when they don't know how to stand up for themselves, right? I want you to wrap your head around this. This is how you change people's lives, by fighting for them, even when they can't fight for themselves. Okay. Last breakout room experience, which we're now still doing in the main room. I want you to think, has there ever been a time when you had a buying experience? And this one, it might be easier if you want to unmute. If you can't, you drop it in the chat. But I want to know, when did an experience with a salesperson change your life? When did an experience with a salesperson change your life? And I'll let you guys think about this while I share two versions of the story. First version for me, I was walking through a mall with my husband late at night. We were having a date. And this amazing woman comes out and she's like, I have got something for you. And she takes my hand and she does this whole manicure, talking a mile a minute and just making us laugh, having a good time. And then we ended up buying her $80 nail product, not because I needed a nail product, but just because she was entertainment. Like, she loved what she was doing and she did such a great job. And she made us feel like she was a part of the date night, right? That this was just an experience that we were having. And it was fun. She made it fun. The second one is I was having a sales conversation with somebody who's going to help with our marketing. And he asked me such deep questions about my vision, about why that was important to me, about my fears, about where I was getting stuck. Such deep questions that I ended up like crying on the sales call. And I was like, who else in my life is able to hold space for me to think bigger than I've ever thought, to face my fears at a deeper level than I've ever felt them, right? Like that sales experience is such a beautiful opportunity. I love it, Katerina and Manolis. You guys are saying when I joined the Global Academy of Coaching, why does that not surprise me? Because this woman knows how to transform people's lives, and she knows that she's fighting for you. She is fighting for your life, not her livelihood, right? So as you guys think about that experience, I want you to remember like how that felt when you actually finally said yes. One of my clients just recently, when she joined us, she was like, this is what hope feels like. And it made me want to cry again. I cry a lot. But hope, that's what you're selling, guys, right? People are wandering around tired and exhausted and dead inside, and you're selling them hope, right? You're selling them change. Like this can change anything. Katerina, you cried from happiness. I love it. Yeah. And this is why I love selling coaching programs, because you get to do this work in real time. It's not selling widgets, it's selling destinies. The truth is that a lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs just want people to like them, which is not the same as being committed to your client's success. Can you hear that? Wanting them to like you is not the same as being committed to their success. And when we find ourselves in client-pleasing mode, we undercharge, we don't charge enough. We overpromise, right? We're worried we're not going to get the results. We try to give them the most possible value. And as a result, we dilute our message. We disappear among the competition. We fail to set boundaries. We overhire, which just means we buy stuff we don't need. We end up making really bad investing decisions. I used to say that the 3 biggest objections for sales was not enough time, not enough money, and I need to check with my spouse. But after selling in this industry for 13 plus years, I realized there's a 4th one, which is I've already invested so much money in programs that did not deliver, right? So many people are getting burned because they're not getting results. So we spend a lot of money because we're not clear, and we hope that somebody is going to save us, right? And that never works. Usually when we're avoid selling, Yota, fly safe, darling. We pay ourselves last. We dilute our messaging. We avoid the hard conversations. Often, if you're avoiding sales, you're also probably avoiding confronting your clients internally and doing the hard work that you need to hold them accountable. We end up working too hard. We neglect our self-care, and eventually we burn out. And often we end up wanting to throw in the towel and calling it quits. So I find that usually my coaches and healers tend to be in 1 or 2 different scenarios. So we'll say Amy, not you guys, but Amy gets so worried about coming across as pushy or manipulative or predatory that she sells her services for peanuts and then kills herself trying to over deliver above and beyond every single time. Or Sarah is the healer who writes books and publishes articles behind her website, and she really doesn't want to get on the phone and talk to anybody, and so she just hides behind content creation, hoping that somebody will magically find her. They will read the beautiful article that she wrote, and then their life will be changed. right? So let's talk about the limiting beliefs. What are the limiting beliefs that are killing your ability to sell, to do high impact selling? Well, the first one that I usually hear is something along the lines of, I want my business to feel easy, right? If it doesn't feel easy, I probably shouldn't do it. It's probably a sign from the universe that I shouldn't go that direction, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I really love easy. One of my superpowers is laziness, right? But as Les Brown says, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. And I'll put this quote in the chat because I just love it. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is hard, your life will be easy. So I want you to take on a new belief here. I want you to love your clients enough that you are willing to get uncomfortable for them, right? Because yes, selling is going to feel hard at first. If you ever tried to learn how to ride a bike, you know that a couple times you fell off and you scraped your knee, right? And very frequently, at least here in the United States, as kids, we're told if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. I want you to shift that. If something's actually worth doing, it's worth doing really badly at first. Like it's worth giving yourself permission to fail the first couple of times. Because it's going to be hard to learn this new style of selling because nobody's ever taught you how to do sales in a way that feels loving, in a way that feels like it nurtures your soul instead of stealing your soul, right? At least nobody ever taught me, right? I have a master's degree in business administration and not a single class on sales. Like, who thought that would be important? Evidently not my college. So I end up spending thousands of hours, hundreds and hundreds of sales calls, banging my head on the ceiling of my own limiting beliefs, trying to crack the code and figuring this out. So I'm not saying this is going to be easy. I am saying that it will be worth it. Like all of the things that are important in our life, this is a practice. Like your yoga, like your breathing, like your coaching, right? You're going to get better at this as you practice it over time, right? And I know if you guys have ever done any coaching already, you know how amazing it feels to get off a coaching call when you have just transformed somebody's life, right? You know that feeling like, my heart is so full. They got it. They had their epiphany. They had their breakthrough. It's amazing. The heavens opened and this person will never be the same, right? That's exactly how I want your sales conversations to feel, except it's not just your heart that's full, it's also your bank account that's full. So I want you to take that spirit of like, oh my gosh, I got such amazing transformation for this person and I'm getting paid really well to do it, right? So that's the transformation that we're leading towards. Now, I just want to acknowledge that a lot of people have this subconscious belief that we have to either be spiritually rich or financially rich. I happen to believe we can be both. So I think that probably our religious icons like Jesus, like Buddha, they had to live poorly to show us that money isn't actual power, right? It was a valuable lesson, but I think that the age of the penniless sage is over. We are no longer on a gold standard. Money is literally infinite. If you want more money, you simply need to create more value. So if you want more money, create more value. The lesson that you and I get to teach the world, this generation, is that this is the most valuable work on the planet, right? The lesson that we get to model for our children is that money is just energy, right? That's why we call it currency in the US, right? And the more we receive, the more we can give back, right? That this is a two-way street of giving and receiving. So I want you to imagine money flowing into you and rainbows flowing out of you. The more gold comes in, the more beauty flows out. So the number one secret is that you need to love your clients enough to not just step out of your comfort zone, but to blow your comfort zone to smithereens, right? We are going to step completely out of our comfort zone for the sake of our clients. The second limiting belief that I often hear is I don't want to come across as pushy or salesy, right? How many of you have ever pulled your punch? It's an expression in the US where you don't quite follow through. Like a real punch, you push all the way through. Pulling your punch is you don't really hit as hard as you can or you should. Or you just fail to make an offer at all. You're like, did you have a great session? Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. And you forgot to actually ask for the money because you were worried about coming across as pushy or salesy or manipulative or fill in your uncomfortable, icky word, right? So the new belief that I want you guys to take on is you need to love your clients enough to make them uncomfortable. You need, and I'll put that in the chat, Jill, thanks for the reminder. You need to love your client enough to make them uncomfortable. And I want to clarify, comfort, not always good. Pain, not always bad. So my mom just had hip surgery. And after the doctor replaced her hip and she came out of anesthesia, the doctor immediately made her get up and walk. Did it hurt? Oh, heck yes. Was it important that she do that so she wasn't permanently crippled? Yes, right? So sometimes forcing ourselves to do the painful thing is exactly what we need. If you're familiar with chiropractics, right? Your back hurts, and then the chiropractor makes it hurt more for a brief moment, bringing you back into alignment so that you can find relief. So I want you to ask yourself, is your ideal client in pain? Hopefully the answer is yes. That's why they need you, right? The trouble is that you have an instinct as a healer to make people feel better, right? But the trouble is you can't cure a lifetime of pain in a 1-hour sales call, right? So most of you guys are like, yes, you have cancer. Here's a Band-Aid, right? I'm just going to make you feel better and bye-bye, right? And can you imagine if a doctor did that, right? If a doctor was like, yes, I'm sorry, you have cancer, but hope you feel better. Here's a sticker to cheer you up. No, the doctor has a moral obligation to convince the patient that just because they don't necessarily feel bad doesn't mean that they're not going to die, right? Yeah, chemotherapy sucks, but the doctors are willing to give their patients an uncomfortable diagnosis and prescribe an uncomfortable solution because they're convinced it will save their life. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, can you save their life? Now, for some of you, it's not going to be that dramatic. It's not going to be heart surgery or brain surgery. But are you going to save their marriage? Are you going to help them with their weight loss? Are you going to help them to finally feel comfortable in their bodies in a way that they never have before? Are you going to heal their crippling anxiety and depression? If you have the ability to save their life, then you have a responsibility to enroll them into the solution. And you need to learn how to get somebody to say yes to themselves, right? This is not about you. Do not let your ego get in the way of the work, right? Don't let your fear of making people uncomfortable keep you from changing the world. Does this make sense? Because we know that change is hard. Our egos are designed to protect us by keeping us in the status quo. We are instinctively afraid of change because what we've been doing to this point has allowed us to survive. So your clients are saying, well, I may be overweight. I may be in a loveless marriage. I may have crippling anxiety that keeps me from enjoying life, but I am still breathing, and that's all that their ego cares about. So I want you to write down, the ego will always prioritize surviving over thriving. Asking your clients to invest their money which they think is finite and difficult to earn, is scary for them, right? Unless you're selling to incredibly enlightened entrepreneurs who know that money is infinite and easy to make, you're going to need the power of your client's pain to overcome their fear of change. And I'll put that one in the chat too. You need the power of your client's pain to overcome their fear of change. So do you love your clients enough to sit with them in their discomfort? Okay. So the last one is, I hate selling. Sales is hard. It's not actually true. Sales is easy when you can own and articulate the value that you create, right? And even further than that, I know you don't believe me, but selling is actually going to become your favorite activity if you're doing it well. And I didn't include Antoniette's quote, but Antonia went from like, I hate sales to now sales is my favorite activity, right? She said it verbatim. So that's why we're here, right? Because once you can detach yourself from the outcome of closing the deal, right? If your focus is on closing the deal, you're still going to lose half the time, even if you're good, right? And that doesn't feel great. But if instead you can focus on selling is an act of love and serving, and I can show up with love and service in my heart as the goal, then I can win 100% of the time. It doesn't matter if they say no. It doesn't matter if they cuss you out and hang up the phone, because you showed up from a place of love and service. They may not have been able to receive that, but that's not your fault, right? So from now on, you are going to stop selling time. You are going to stop selling services. You're going to stop selling yourself in any way. From now on, the only thing that you sell is results. So I want you to write that down. I sell results. And I want you to illustrate. I'm going to use US dollars. I should have exchanged for a euro. My apologies. If I said you can have $100 bill and I'm only going to charge you 10, or I'm going to give you €100 bill and I'm only going to charge you 10 euros, right? Would you take me up on that? Would you give me 10 to get 100? Yeah, because it's a really easy deal, right? You can instinctively understand, I put a $1 in, I get $10 out. This makes sense. You need, like, there's a clear value proposition is the technical business term for this, right? You need to help your clients understand how if they invest $1 of money with you, they're going to receive tens of dollars of value back, right? The trouble is that most of you don't know how to get people to feel the value of better health, the value of happier marriages, the value of deeper spiritual connection and self-awareness, right? If you don't start yawning, I'll start yawning too. If you knew how to articulate your value in a compelling way, you would be able to charge more money. You'd be able to close more easily. You would stand out in the marketplace. You could be more selective in who you work with. So you're only working with people who genuinely appreciate you. You're going to stop throwing money away into this spray and pray marketing black hole in the universe. Most importantly, this is going to allow you to have a much bigger impact. If you can easily and powerfully articulate the value that you create in people's lives, you're going to have much larger ripples of impact, because when you can charge more, and when you charge more, your clients are more committed. When your clients are more committed, then they get better results. When they get better results, they get to send you more referrals, which then allows you to charge more. And your business gets drawn on to a beautiful upward spiral of more income and more impact and more income. And that's where I come in. So our company, Ecstatic Business, offers a 10K and 30-day revenue accelerator, which teaches you how to generate $10,000, or in your case, euros, within 30 days. You do not need to have a clearly defined offer in place. You do not need a list. You do not need a large following. You don't even need social media, although it's helpful if you happen to be on Facebook or wherever you are. You don't have to have any sales skills to start with us. We're going to teach you everything. And we guarantee that you're going to make that $10,000 or euros through the accelerator program, or you get to stay for free in the program until you do. Most importantly, this is not just about a measly 10 grand, right? This course is going to convince you that money is infinite, that wealth comes from creating value, that sales is your spigot for tapping into abundance. So basically, this course is about learning how to turn the universe into your own personal ATM machine. Do you guys have ATM machines in Greece? Like a way to pull money, you go in, you put your card in, you pull money, cash out? Yeah, okay. So it's not just a once and done. This isn't just make 10,000 and that's it. This is about learning how to print money, right? Whenever you need it, you will know exactly how to go out and get it. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is that this is the equivalent of teaching a caveman how to hunt, right? And I really love doing this for women, and especially for the light workers, right? Because if I can teach you how to make money on demand, you're free. You are finally free. No one else ever gets to decide how much you are worth ever again. You will never be dependent on somebody else for your paycheck, right? You make money when you want it, how you want it. So how much would that be worth if you could finally attain financial independence? Sit with that. Right now, the program is $997 US through the end of May. June 1st, it goes up to $1497. And August, which is just before our next 30-day sprint, it'll be $1997 US. Within the program, you'll get instant access to our core curriculum, which includes 22 hours of video trainings, right? Me talking like this, very passionately, giving you exactly what you need to say, giving you the exact scripts you need to follow so that you can turn any coaching call into a sales conversation. And twice a year, we host the 30-day sprints where you get daily coaching with me and my coaches to hold you and support you and do your initiatives. So the 10K in 30 days doesn't start until day one of the sprint. Everything before the sprint starts is just gravy. You can start on this tomorrow. You do not have to wait until the next sprint. You can keep coming to both of the sprints, even if you made your 10K back in the first challenge, like Cherie did. So Cherie is a Reiki master, and she had spent 10 years taking coaching certifications and healing modalities, trying to get her business off the ground, and she couldn't do it. And she was able to close $11,500 in her first 4 weeks, right? The beautiful thing about this is that she's been a part-time high school teacher, and just, I think this past week, she told me that she submitted her resignation, so she's not coming back in the fall. She now has enough money, and more importantly, confidence that she can make more money, that she's quitting her job so that she can do coaching full-time. And for me, that's the whole point. Because now Cherie doesn't just change one life here and one life there, and she's committed. Her entire schedule is now committed to changing the world and being present. So if you're imagining her as like a spark of light, all we did is put that spark of light into a lantern. So now it's going to shine so much brighter. And that's what this is about. Oh dear. Oh yeah. But thanks to Jill, you guys are actually going to get this for 50% off. I think I lost my chat. Where's my chat? There we go. So if you guys go to the website, you'll see right now how much it costs. But if you put in Jill 50, you will get 50% off the cost of the program. So like I said, it's still going up. But we do have a payment plan. So you can join us tonight for as little as 100 euros. and get instant access to the curriculum. And what's also fun is tomorrow. So every month I hold a special training for the people who are enrolled in the accelerator program. So we have the 2 sprints, but you get coaching with me every month between the sprints. Tomorrow is our May training, and we are talking about why they buy. How many of you ever thought, like, if I just knew what to say, I could close the deal, right? So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, is I'm going to teach you how people make buying decisions. There's 4 personalities, and they each have very different values of what's important to them and what money means to them. So I'm going to teach you how to recognize which personality is which and give you exactly what to say. That's going to help them decide, yes, I absolutely want to do this. Every time I offer this particular training, it changes people's lives. It is one of my favorite things that I teach. So even if you can't join live tomorrow, and I can give you the time if you're curious, but I'll still make sure that you get the replay so you can go through it and you can still participate. So if that speaks to you, I would love for you to join us, the 10K and 30-day Revenue Accelerator, with the code Jill50. If for any reason that code is not working, because Michael set it up for me just before the thing.
It's working. Do you want me to share my screen so they understand?
Yes.
Because it's
I would love that.
Yeah, not very easy. So I tested it and it's working, and we really want to thank you for this, Caitlin. So guys, you just put here Jill 50, and instead of 1,000 is 498.50. It's in dollars. Caitlin, can I share my story?
Please, I would love that.
So I did this this challenge, and because I make 10K definitely every month, so I wanted something that would really challenge me. So I said to Caitlin, I'm not gonna do the 10K challenge. I'm gonna go for 30K challenge. And she was like, yeah, cool, okay, you do whatever you want. So that I knew, because it's important, for me to actually get out of my comfort zone. I knew that it would definitely get me out of my comfort zone. So I started doing, exactly what you said. And I was amazed. First of all, I realized, some tweaks that I had to do in the business. That was, I wouldn't realize it if I wasn't put on the spot to actually make 30K of revenue in 1 month. And the second one of all is that I think, how much did I make, Caitlin?
I think you said 22.9.
Yeah. So I made around 23,000 in 28 days. So yeah, it's cool. I'm not, I didn't achieve it, the exact goal, but it's not bad because I really, took myself out there.
You tripled the goal. It's fine. It's you overachiever.
So yeah, I just want to say, guys, that this program will train your brain towards the right way of actually reaching out and doing sales. And this is what we need, whatever you do. Okay, if you're in real estate, if you're in coaching, wherever you are, it's actually understanding that we give value. We're actually saving their lives, literally. I wrote in the chat that it's more, for me, it's much more important to save a soul, the soul, rather than the brain tumor, because the soul is more dangerous. The soul is heartbreaking and you cannot see it. This is the feelings, all that. You cannot see it. So yeah, I just wanted to share my experience.
Thank you so much, Jill. I love it. And I love you. And I'm so glad that we got to come together tonight. And that's the end of my presentation. So we get to just kind of spend some time going through what questions do you have, either about the program or about your sales. If we didn't touch on one of your resistance elements, we can go back and look at those. We can reframe those as well. So I would love to hear from you guys. You can just drop things in the chat. You can come off mute and speak. You can, I also mentioned this earlier, you can chat in Greek and you can speak in Greek, and Jill can translate for me and translate back. So I don't want you guys to feel uncomfortable. I've traveled everywhere, and what I have discovered is that only Americans are monolingual. Everybody else speaks multiple languages. No worries. Thanks, love. But they're always worried about actually speaking English with an American. And I'm like, don't. It's amazing. Like the fact that you could say anything in our language is phenomenal. So I want you guys to just feel confident, feel comfortable. If you feel so led to come off mute, and if chat's easier for you because you can't come on camera, that's totally fine too. Manolis would say, would you like to describe the program? Yes, let me see how I can do that again. So inside of the program, I can maybe even pull it up for you. You will get access to all of the curriculum. So I can show you what that looks like in the back end if you just give me a second to pull that up. And you can start consuming the content immediately. So I would highly encourage you, if you ever watch TV at night, just watch me instead. I'm equally entertaining. And so just spend like an hour a day going through the coursework. So here, let me share my screen. So inside of here, you guys are going to have the 10K and 30-day instructions, as well as the workbook script. So you can literally go in here, watch the video, download the workbook, and start on it immediately. You do not have to wait. Just start on that. You can also, where's our bonus? Okay. There's also a leading the sale course that I recorded with a former business partner. So that one is so why sales is important, the 6-question script, the success framework, exact words to say when closing. And this bonus is a fall in love with money exercise. So I find that a lot of people have a lot of money mindset blocks around falling in love with money. And this is the last one. So this is the one where we'll be putting the replay of the 4 buying personalities. So you can go through that. And then because we just did a recent sprint, you'll actually get all of the trainings, day 1 through 5 with me, day 1 through 5 with Jess. So she's my UK-based coach, and this is for Europeans specifically. So you can watch both of those and get started. In August, and I can get you the exact date. August 26th is the kickoff of our next sprint. So sprints are 30-day intensives where we come together as a community to just do it together. You can do it by yourself starting tomorrow. It's totally fun. You can do it. It's easy. We'll get you plugged into our Slack channel so you can meet the other accelerator members and stay connected to each other throughout the year. But the sprint on August 26th is where you come together, we come together as a community, and every single day, you're either talking to me or one of my coaches, and you get to ask questions, and we hold you accountable, and we give you very specific instructions. Do this, now do this, now do this, right? So you can't go off the rails. It's like putting bumpers on the bowling alley. You will have to hit the pins. We won't let you fail. So you get 2 of those. If you make the first 10K in the first challenge sprint, awesome. Sometimes people have stuff that comes up, family matters, resistance. They're just not clear on their offer, or they want to pivot after they get feedback. That's fine. You can go to the next one. So our next one will be in March of 2024. So we'll probably start on March 23rd next year. And so you'll get 2 sprints included. And if you do everything inside the sprint that we tell you to do, and you still don't make your $10,000 in the 2 sprints, the guarantee is you can keep coming to the sprints as long as you still show up and do the homework. Like, we're happy to leave you in the container for as long as you need to make this work. But usually, I would say 50% of the people do it in the first sprint and the other ones do it in the second sprint. You guys will be fine. But we just know that we've got you. We're really committed to your success and your return on investment. Was that helpful, Manolis? Was there any other follow-up questions to that? All right. What other questions do you guys have for me about sales, about marketing, about being an entrepreneur, about being a mom and an entrepreneur? I am here for you. No. Well, I guess I can let you guys get to your day too, if that's easier for you. But I will say, if you'd like, let me put in the chat. If you want to email us at success@ecstaticway.com, Jess and I can answer any questions that come up afterwards for those of you guys who are listening to the replay, by all means. Yes, Manolis, we absolutely have a payment plan. So the payment plan right now through the end of May is $22 US per month, but with the 50% discount, I think it's $111 US per month. So I think it's coming out to 103-ish in euros. So there are 5 installments of that over the next 5 months, if that's easier for you. Yeah.
May I ask, would you like to write in the chat, my beautiful, beautiful friends, colleagues and students, what are you getting today from this masterclass? What are you getting with you? It would be great if you would write in the chat. Yeah. So we see, what our thoughts are. What is it that we keep today? Yeah, I'd love to hear, what do you remember? Maybe something you wrote down, an insight that you gained or a takeaway. And how are you feeling? How are you feeling about sales? How are you feeling about your business? Just notice what's coming up for you. And like that we saw results. Yep, that was an epiphany for me. I was like, wait a second. I don't need to worry about, this isn't about me. I loved it. Showing up from a place of love and service. Yeah. So much limiting belief about selling. It's great. We saw results. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Power of clients' pain to overcome fear of change, making them uncomfortable, being okay with making them uncomfortable. Yeah, it's so hard. It's so uncomfortable. But I realize it's just my own triggers that wants to be comfortable. So yeah, I love it. We saw results. Make your clients feel uncomfortable. What I will say, Viana, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. What is I think that's a really valuable distinction. The beautiful thing is you're not causing pain for your clients. The pain is there, right? Your doctor isn't causing pain when he's diagnosing you. He's simply bringing your awareness to the pain. So what's interesting about our bodies is that if we experience chronic pain, pain is experienced in our brain. Like if we break our leg, we don't feel it in our leg, we feel it in our brain. The signal is sent to our brain translates it as pain. Pain is a beautiful gift. Pain allows us to change what we're doing so that we don't die, right? But the pain is here. And if we discover that our pain sensors are being set off continuously over time, our brain says, oh, we must not be in trouble. And it starts sublimating that experience. So after my pregnancies, I had serious back problems where I was like flat out on a couch, 9 out of 10 on pain scale. And 2 or 3 months later, if you asked me, how much pain are you in? I would have said a 6 or a 7. My back wasn't aligned. Nothing had changed physically. My brain had decided we can't stay in a 9 pain scale this long. So we're going to just ignore the pain.
most of your clients have forgotten what it feels like to not be in pain. They have forgotten what normal life feels like, that it can be joyful, that it can be peaceful, that they can be in love with themselves and their spouse and their kids and their work, right? They have become so detached from what I believe is their birthright that they have forgotten. So it is your job to make them aware of the pain that they're in. You're not causing pain. You're simply reminding them that the life that they are currently living is no life at all. That reminding them that they are worth more, that they are worth healing, that they are worth loving, that they are worth having a fulfilling life, right? That is your mission. And it's going to hurt them to acknowledge how far they are from their dreams. And that's okay. Because if it hurts enough, they'll move. And that's your job. Is that helpful? To create more money, create more value. And Bianca's like, I know, it's more fun to say it that way. Make your clients feel uncomfortable. Go for it. You ask the hard questions. It's beautiful. I love it. Oh, well, thank you guys for feeding back into me. It's always helpful for me to hear what you like and are taking away. And yes, I would love to hear from you guys if you're able to join us. We'd love to see you tomorrow. Oh, that's right. I was going to tell you the time for the call tomorrow. So the call tomorrow is at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Let me pull up time zone converter and see what that is in Athens. So that'll be 8:30 p.m. in Athens tomorrow. So if you guys are open to staying up late, you can come and join me for that. Just let me know. My team will let me know if you're joining us tonight or the rest of today. And we'll make sure that we get you that invitation so you can join us. Yeah, it was my pleasure. I'm so glad I got to spend this time with you. I'm just going to put my email one more time in the chat. So if you guys have any questions or anything comes up, success@ecstatic, ECSTATIC, it's our awkward one, ecstaticway.com. I'd love to hear from you guys and see how I can continue to support you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. You were amazing. Thanks everybody who were here and everybody who's going to watch our recording. We had many people enrolling for this masterclass. And Caitlin, I'm looking forward to joining the sprint on August. It will be great. And all of you have a beautiful day. And let's save people's lives. Let's save people's lives. Mwah. Big hug to all of you.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you.